Being back for the first
I
time.
know. I'm
Sakyan,
excited. I'm excited.
It's good to be back. It's good to
he's
be
all a bit quiet, so he's clearly nervous. More nervous than I am. I am.
I am very excited. I'm very looking forward to what we have in store for you guys today and for the entire season.
And Alistair.
I'm excited to be back. I'm looking forward to hearing what all y'all have to say and definitely hearing from our viewers. So definitely looking forward to good things.
So guys, this is season 2. We're back, and I don't know how much of you saw the preview, but as you can tell, it's gonna be same personalities, but different vibes, different locations. Obviously, I don't know who noticed. Who
Guys,
noticed?
we're outside.
I am gonna be more like.
We're outside. Hi, Jandy.
So, before we continue, anybody watching us on Facebook, on Sugar Curate, or on Molly's page, if you want to comment and you want to see a comment, head on over to YouTube, please. And also bear in mind, in case you hear us shouting or trying to get the message to you,
We're outside. We're on the beach. We are live
on the
and
waves
live.
and the wind and everything, right? So
A lot
that's
going on.
our
A
dilemma
lot
today.
going on. A lot going
The
on.
weather and the wind, but we're happy to be outside, you know, thankful for life. So let's jump into the show. So we want to know what everybody has been up to since the show last ended. A little insight about what's been going on in our lives.
Well, for me, first of all, we have to apologize to our viewers for the abrupt ending of season 2. Let's just, clear the air. What happened is COVID. Let's just, I know we like to blame a lot of things on COVID, but honestly, it really was COVID and the lockdown. And we did, as you can see, we attempted to, stream online. But we're back, luckily. So that happened. Since that happened, we had a little break. School started again in September for me, so that's what I'm dealing with right now.
So over the summer vacation, what were you up to? Were you able to be outside?
There's not much to do outside.
See.
No, nothing really happening, so no.
Not kid.
Not kid. So
I
was just
every
warm.
reach a less than sugar hill.
No,
Oh, yeah,
no, no, no,
yes,
no,
I
no,
can
no.
go ahead.
Sakyan, go ahead.
This was on this side, yo. Yeah, man. Some was decent. Well, I start back CFBC, doing another course at CFBC. So that's why I didn't really do it now.
So it's a graduation next year?
No. Yeah.
I heard that CFBC is now 3 years instead of 2 years.
Well, they kind of change the program, so you end up doing your associates in 3 years.
What?
You need more units now. Before you needed 8 units, now you want 10.
So guys, that's something to bear in mind. The students who are intending to go to CFBC, it's now 3 years instead of 2. So guys,
That's crazy. I got to went college anyway.
same.
I was just gonna say the same
Same,
thing.
that's
2
what I
years was
said.
perfect.
Hey, that's crazy, yo. I love you, man.
Right? So guys, between Ariana, myself and Sakyan, we were more on the inside this summer because, what's been happening in St. Kitts and the COVID restrictions and curfew. But some of us were more lucky than others. And so Alexa now is going to give us
Oh
the
my
international view
Oh my
of
God.
what it felt like him being outside versus inside Alexa. So yes, guys, he traveled. I'll just put it out there.
Jolanda just like to put me on blast, and Ayana in particular. But going away was actually a very interesting experience because, going to the US, obviously, you really see what life is like outside of the borders. The COVID protocols are basically the same. Generally, the same thing, I think eventually saying it will get to that place. I know recently we just got the update saying that inbound passengers could actually quarantine for just 24 hours. And I actually had a long quarantine period, but I think generally it's just good to travel and see outside and see people moving and living and understanding to be able to function with COVID. So,
You missed the 1 day quarantine. Just about missed it.
But guys, before we continue, we have to big up Loxy, that's where we are right now.
On the strip?
Beach. We're here by Loxy's
Lots.
bar.
See.
So we'd like to thank her so much for accommodating us. And she said to her, thank you so much for accommodating us. So guys, when you come over to Coffee Shack, make sure you check out Loxy, the coldest beverages here. But as for me, but I'm a teacher for those of you who watch the show. So summer, you could basically say, I did have a summer vacation, but it was kind of mixed in terms of finding different mediums and especially to reach our students, trying to figure out what we're going to do for the upcoming academic year. So it was a lot of back and forth. There was relaxation, there was rest, but yeah. I'm sure you guys see education. Yeah, so you guys see the different school messages, the different postings about the school stuff. I was basically living within that, behind the scenes. So that was more so.
I want to ask Alistair, how was the unused to the culture, the COVID culture? Down here we're very kind of, a lot of us tight, yeah, and we follow the COVID rules and we sanitize our hands and we wear our masks. How was it
on the ground?
Outside of St. Kitts?
Firstly, like boarding American Airlines, I think it was actually a very, very full flight. One of the things I also admire is that you jump on the flight, you keep your mask on, you sanitize, you pull on your mask briefly to just eat something, you put it back on. I think it was basically understood in terms of what the rules were. You go into stores, you go on the train. I know Jolanda is next to me, but if me and Jolanda was traveling together, we would actually keep our own social distance, and nobody would naturally come and like sit next to us. They would actually give us that space. But generally, I think
in the schools, how is the COVID culture in schools? Do you think the children are
adhering
to the COVID protocol because they're young?
I feel like you're giving yourself an answer just by saying, they're young. I'm going to answer it actually. It's only so much you can expect of the kids. The first thing back in school, the theme was adaptation, and you had to drive the idea of what it means to adapt. Because it's going to be coming your way, you have to prepare and just get accustomed to things and just not accustomed to it. Sometimes, most times, majority of the time, it feels like it went through one year and came up the next. Because, I think it has to do with this. They've been home for so long, some of them are missing their friends, and even though they maybe hear their parents talking about it, they really don't understand the impact of COVID-19 and what the virus can do. And they feel that they're young and active. So my message to them is I tell them, I know you guys feel that they're more invincible. Let's think about your parents, your grandparents who may have underlying health illnesses. Like, think about them. And if you were supposed to carry it home to them, it would be harder for them to battle with COVID as opposed to you.
So one of the topics that we really have to talk about is, and it's a controversial topic, is whether or not it is essential to vaccinate these younger children.
But let me ask another question before we even go any further. What have the Ministry of Education done in terms of playing their role to sensitize and even cut down the risk of COVID-19? So like, for example, I think most of us here went to Washi. I know they used to have the gate and stuff like that. What is it like on the ground in terms of, as you go in, all the students will have to sanitize, check the temperature, do the contact tracing?
Yeah, since last year actually, all of the students are not in school at the same time. There's actually a shift system that was instilled at the beginning of COVID. We have Forms 1 to 3 would come in the morning on Sundays, and Form 3, summer Form 3 to 5 will come in the afternoon on Sundays. So at no point in time, all the students are at school at the same time. And upon entrance, you have to be hand sanitized, your temperature is to be checked. If your temperature is over, you have any cough, and there's also a checklist. If you have any cough, your temperature is over a certain amount, shortness of breath, they ask you questions. Yeah. Even me, as a teacher, I am asked these questions every day. And if it's a situation where you monitor, you go to the nurse, if it's a situation where you could see that you didn't pass checklist, or you yourself just don't seem as well as you should be. You'll be referred to the nurse, and then go ahead.
Why are you going to school? Why are you getting on the bus, going to school, if it is that you are experiencing symptoms?
So you see, that's the issue right there in a lot of the reasons for this spread, I feel, among the schools, because I don't know if it's that, is the parents not adequately checking their children to make sure that they're in good health, or the children are lying to their parents. Yeah, I've had instances. But you see, sometimes it's not gonna be a situation where you're gonna say I have a fever, but you're gonna check the temperature and see the temperature is high. You're gonna see them coughing and say, how long have you had that cough? Like personally, as a teacher, I had referred students to this just based on my observation. So most times it's observation.
How is the culture at the same?
I guess because you know mature, but they're just more strict here. It's easier to control your because
And is less children at surface? Is it less children at surface?
Like the classroom setting, I mean.
Yeah, like high school where everybody on one campus. So it just depends.
I think it's the age. The age gap has to be. We're going to college, you expect a higher level of maturity.
Yeah,
College.
people aren't them
High school, we're literally just dealing with the childhood stage and the adolescent stage. Up there, we're looking at the pre-adults, the people the students who are going into the adult stage. So you have a little bit more level of understanding, but we just have our kids and kids are going to be kids.
The only problem is the heat. I'm seeing them at class here. There's the killing. Some of the classes, but not majority. If you age generation, so.
Yeah,
if you don't
I got to push up the windows.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't feel like I told you.
But you know guys, I don't think that COVID is going anywhere. It just makes sense for us to follow the government's protocols and do your own
Research and have them be responsible.
And be responsible, you know, because it's not going anywhere.
As Diana said, and rightfully so, how are students even, how have they even left the house if they know that they're not feeling well? But it's a situation with adults as well. You're an adult, you know you're not feeling well, and you're going to leave home, you're going to go out, go to the supermarket, go XYZ, and you know yourself, it's either you know you have COVID, or you know you're wanting a temperature, or you're just over, you know you're not feeling well. Isolate, protect yourself and protect others. Right. So, that's also oh, Adiel, hi Adiel, so what's up?
As you say, you know, it's COVID is not going anywhere, and so we also have to protect our mental health. Today actually is Mental Health Day, October the 10th, and one of the reasons why we're on the beach also is the beach provides a sense of relaxation. How do you guys deal and cope with your mental health? Let me ask that.
I think you should ask Sakian first. How do you deal?
Let's be realistic. Like, life ain't easy.
But life is a beach.
Life is a beach.
I think what's inside, like they actually seeing the depression rates and the suicide rates actually increased since COVID. So people have been having a lot of mental health issues with not even in the United States but worldwide. So,
and just to add to what Jolando said, that was one of the major challenges and differences I saw in the United States. Because I mean, going into New York City and coming out of the subway, even down in the subway you see maybe 30, 40 young men between 16 to 40 who sprung out on drugs, probably got kicked out since COVID, you know what I mean, you're staying with family, you're in domestic situations, so I mean, it really has its effects. I guess here you don't really see it as much, but it really has its effects on society and how people coping with COVID, especially being out of a job, you got kids, you got bills, you got mortgage, you got rent, you know what I mean? So
how have you been coping with mental?
You have to try to find ways to detach. No, I personally try to find ways to detach. So for example, for me, one of the things I find most relaxing is like going to the beach on Sunday morning. Kind of getting a little bit of me time. I think it's important to not overextend. And by that I mean, a lot of people end up pouring from up themselves, but not realizing that self-care is one of the best methods to find that balance and be able to stay grounded and stay solid throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Second, about you, how have you been? How do you cope with your mental health?
That's a good question. I never really thought about that, to be honest. And just when I feel like you're getting into it, I just blast some music to tell you the truth. That is all.
Little things, it's the little things.
Blast some music.
I like to sleep. I think once you sleep, all your troubles go away. Yeah, you just sleep and you got Netflix and you think about other things apart from your worries. Also, I do like to go to the beach. I think going to the beach helps a lot. I forgot to add that during the lockdown, not the lockdown, during our hiatus, I used to go to the beach every morning. So I think that also helps.
Here, man, solo or with company?
No, solo. Yeah, with company too.
Well, for me, I cannot stay at home. So if you have me on social media, you've seen that I've been out time to time.
Outside?
Everyone has their own way of coping, and that is my way. I do not like to be locked up. I do not like to feel like I am caged or trapped. So even if it was going to Nevis or was going by a bar for a drink or going to the beach, and also
coming to lock scene.
and also maintaining healthy interpersonal relationships. I feel as though all of us feel like, oh, I don't need anybody, like the world is wrong, you do need someone. And personally, I like my healthy friendships. They help me grounded. You want somebody to talk to, make sure it's not a running mouth but a listening ear. Your friend are not feeling well, but I mean, you know, your friend is gonna, once it's a good supportive friend, you know, what you did for the week, let's go here, read this, I'll send you the scripture. And personally, that's the scripture because yes, I just, personally, a God-fearing woman here. I also pray. Prayer and God is my cornerstone, so that's one of the ways that I cope. That's
and just
my mental health coping mechanism.
And just to add to what Jolanda said, I think people need to also find creative ways to entertain themselves.
Yeah.
I think by that I mean there's so many new restaurants that popped up, there's so many new places to go, things to do, different crowds. You know what I mean? The backyard party is coming a trend again. I mean, I saw Jolanda at the party, we'll keep it there. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta really find creative ways, you know what I mean? A small crowd.
You got yourself.
Hi, Akilo.
So I think you definitely have to find creative ways to ride out the pandemic, you know what I mean?
That's so true. I really like what you said about, you know, just going places and exploring new places. Even if it's just to drive around the island and showing new things, you know, buy some Guinea from a man and go. These things help. It's the little things that help. It's the little things that help. So you don't really have to.
And the flip side to that though, I love the lockdown them, so I don't know
I'm an introvert. I feel the most solitude being by myself. Always, you know, laptop with babe.
Ain't really that either. It's just enjoy it. The best company is yours.
I think people have to also learn to live with themselves and be in their own space and really just get to know yourself on a level. But a lot of people fear their own company.
Yeah, that's it. I definitely know themselves too.
With that too.
Some journaling, highlight the best facts about
Listen. She talking from a psychological standpoint, okay? And we do need her input for mental health, so she's giving good coping mechanisms.
About that, before we move on from the mental health topic, please bear in mind mental health illnesses do exist. It doesn't make you any less than. Seeking therapy does not make you crazy. And if you ever need somebody to talk to and you feel like a friend is not the best person for you to speak to, there are multiple counseling services in the same case, okay? You don't have to be suffering from schizophrenia to see a therapist. Just saying.
Do you think that there's a culture of not wanting to speak to someone?
Yeah,
correct.
Why do you think that is?
Because people worry about the confidence of discussing it with a counselor. You know, and people have to understand.
Some people worry about Some people worry about confidentiality, and some people genuinely do not believe. First and foremost, they don't even believe that mental health illnesses are real.
Yeah.
So even when you diagnose somebody and say you have schizophrenia, some families, giving an example, a family might decide, okay, we're gonna perform an exorcism because schizophrenia is not real. Right? So that's the issue right there. We need to accept it's real first, and then you go out and seek real help. And let's be real, it's one of being confidential is actually their job, and if you're ever supposed to hear you, then you would have to lose the license and no more practicing for them.
Correct.
So I'll let you know that.
And that's actually good to reassure the persons. Yeah.
You have to hear, and you know you only tell the counselor, the license gone. Right? So, yeah, get help, depression, you may got serious anxiety, as I understand, it doesn't have to be severe. Mental health illness.
It doesn't have to be severe.
And also you have to be mindful that a lot of people are predisposed to other underlying mental health and also medical issues. So you can't feel like, well, you might never realize, but I mean, Jolanda might have had schizophrenia trait in her family. So at some point she could actually tip and cross over, you know, but we need to be able to be a little bit more aware.
Sensitive.
Correct. And not laugh for persons who on the road you see in town and you know all the memes going around. Crazy is the worst thing.
That really annoys me, just saying. So try hard don't use it around me.
Yeah.
Remember the thing I say. And you sure I say it, Jolanda flip.
That's what happened. That was the counselor. That was the counselor in her come out, you know?
I find that we like to label people a lot. And especially towards when it comes to mental health. People don't even realize it's the smallest thing. It's the smallest. Sometimes I even question my mental health.
But I think with saying kids, why it makes it so.
And look normal, you know, but it's the small.
I think with saying kids though, and why it makes it that hard is because saying kids is a very unforgiving society. So I mean that if Ayana had a slight breakdown at 16, we're gonna have to always remind her. Ayana, remember that time you went crazy, girl? But in reality, that's not how it should be. You know what I mean? We need to provide a psychosocial support to kind of keep Ayana on the straight and narrow again so she don't have a relapse of her mental health, and also make sure she keeps up with whatever medication she's prescribed. Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
But I like that.
Well,
I like when somebody comes to us and give them you come from that here to wherever you know.
But there's a way how to do it.
But it's only some people, somebody that ain't my friend. Can't come tell me that.
No, even if it's your friend, don't come here. So you remember ever? Yeah. You know you really come around and say, "Paul, if you come give me a hug."
See, it's female. I really come on.
I can't disagree with you.
Remember, you talk about this skill.
Oh, it's really people going on into. So it's too masculine.
Oh my God. A female has
a nurturing,
emotional.
So let me ask you guys, do you guys think that there is male support?
No. Mental health for males, she means.
For males, not even for men. There's support, just to come and say,
that ain't talking base of
I think generally it's hard for a man to really express himself, quote unquote, being his feelings, really talk to somebody. Because even in pillow talk, pillow talk is the next thing, eh? Like you talk to somebody, and when you're in that kind of zone, you end up saying, Jolanda, you know, like one time, blah blah blah, and then next thing, long after you realize, me and Jolanda ain't good now. We come on the show here, and then Jolanda start to try a little shade, and you start to think like, Jolanda, what you have to say that?
The same manifest good friendships. Manifest a good partner, manifest a good relationship with your partner.
But Saki, I'm trying to manifest you as a good partner.
I think that it's actually you. Even if it's just to be like, yeah, but you always pick up your friend. Hey, what's going on? You're doing. But even if you have to make it manly, do it.
I'm going through a lot. People don't understand me. I said, what's going on with him, man? We just keep posting.
I don't tell you, I used to see a Lester posting. The man used to come in the morning walk. You know, Jack give me strength, you know,
I never post that like that. And you know what? I'm going to hide it on my status.
I used to just fight, cry, them feel like because I had the power to sing with you.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
What's up?
You know what we mean?
Man, what I mean? Listen, first of all, when we get off this show, I'm going to block all y'all from the status.
Not me, because
You can block me, man.
I'm blocking her from the status.
As we talk about mental health, we must have to really understand. It's not, you don't have to be too manly or too feminine to ask a human being, how are you doing? Okay, let's just establish.
One of the greatest quotes I ever read is, I see humans but I see no humanity. And it's really about trying to understand each other and know that we all have our own. The quote says, I see humans but I see no humanity. And I said it's really important for all of us to be able to be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper, and really understand that, yeah, Ayana might be going to something, but that don't define who she is. You know what I mean? She could bounce back from the situation and make it better for her.
And you know, from this time, I think that people just fall even more into whatever mental health issues they may have is because, again, they don't have anybody to speak to, and they're afraid of the judgment.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the judgment, so they rather not say anything. Yeah, man, I go because even though me and Jalanda don't see each other every day, I am afraid that Jalanda might be like,
but she come ask me this stuff?
yeah, what? I know.
So also bear in mind that in most mental health illnesses, it doesn't have a look. Obviously, some have different physical is like you may see a bit off, but in most cases it doesn't have a look. So as Ayana said, asking someone, how are you doing? It doesn't hurt to ask. You don't even if you're going to somebody's dead and be like, wow, this is the first time I get this in 3 weeks, somebody really want to know what you're doing. You know, so
I never used to like them things, I never used to like them. I used to see it as buying something in my business, big dog.
No.
Because some of them ain't really care, you know.
But sometimes, so you ever realize you pick up somebody or you see somebody a long time and that's when you pick them up, they just start to vent and you end up sitting down just listening to them just for them to get it off their chest.
Yeah.
And then when they realize...
No, but it's true.
Okay.
Yeah, mean that.
No, but
just
I
saying.
understand what he's saying. Like, even if somebody just start to vent to you, don't be like,
Judging them.
Yeah, just listen to what they're saying. You might say a little one or two words that might prevent them from going over the edge, you know?
People soft.
We're all soft.
A little annoying just coming.
Many say what you want to say.
But guys, I feel like we had a really good mini discussion on mental health. Definitely more to come on that topic. That's not it, but that's just the surface of us. But let's jump into the next topic of the day. What's in the news? What is going on in the world? Or in saying kids, what is in the news?
We have 19 corona deaths.
Oh, that's it, Lord.
You think so?
What the case with COVID, right?
That's
just
not-
about COVID.
Lord, sorry,
No,
okay.
it's fine, but like, that's just all right.
And then not only in the COVID deaths, but people are just abruptly dying. We had 2 deaths last week. A man went for a walk. It was 2 deaths. A man went for a walk and he dropped down dead.
Oh yeah, we just got some real.
I think all of...
It's a moment for us to just really thankful for like cherish the loved ones. Like you just never know when it'll be the last moment. And yeah, that's just the moment, but
You really never know. You really never know.
I think people just need to enjoy life. Every moment you have, I mean, you know.
The missing
I
is
feel like
good.
this moment has really humbled us. Just
It's
everything
error.
that's going on, it's just really humbled us.
Is the error.
For me personally, it has strengthened my relationship with God. So guys, okay, who can relate to me, I'm not alone. It has strengthened my relationship with God. You can really find solace.
Just put it behind you.
Okay? So yeah.
The missing kids girls came out. Who are you back in? Who are your gods?
This is an unfiltered show.
Yeah, just say it.
That's why you mean you don't know me saying it.
How many of you say?
Oh man, I don't know me saying it. Man, you study them there.
We will go who your back is.
Man, study them
So you're not the girls back here?
No, man, you know who the girls be doing.
Who you back in?
I'm back in everybody.
You back in everybody?
I'm back in the winner. That's my answer. I'm back in whoever win. They win, good job.
It's a tight competition. honestly, it's a
I think before we even go into that, we need to know if we're having carnival this year. That's what I think we need to start because Juve is a
One
long
step at a
overdue,
time.
and I think that I'm ready to just go.
We ain't got nothing else. We
Just
just
have
got
the Juve.
Juve. We ain't got nothing else.
Make here. Everything else can be virtual for my
We ain't got the virtual.
this weekend.
Miami actually today, and I like got Lux Carnival, a small master. They came out in 2019. That's actually my master of choice. And now they're actually in Miami Carnival. That was the first debut in Miami, and expect
You know who else is in Miami Carnival? Big DJ Tewo.
DJ Tewo, and not only DJ Tewo, but Lucas.
Oh, Lucas is in Miami. Big up, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for being represented in Miami. So we have Lucas, Tewo, and Lux Carnival.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
By next.
Let me ask you a question. So Jolanda, why didn't you go? Why didn't you take the time and go? You know, you could work virtually. Why didn't you just swipe and go?
I've never went to Miami Carnival.
That was for you. That was for you.
I've never went to Miami Carnival, and I didn't go because I
wasn't interested.
yeah, I just wasn't
I mean, I don't even
reason.
think insane because I feel like good thing either. Like you're into carnival, I know you're going to be different events.
I wouldn't do like mass and so on.
So yeah, I don't think I ever saw you doing math. I would have loved to. I love math.
You ever play mass, all of stuff? Yeah.
Many things I want to do that.
I never
I ain't
played.
the Juve. I ain't the
I
Juve.
just want to do it, man. Really,
I ain't the Juve. I saw a lot of my old.
I love math too.
Back to me, probably. Just
Alright, boy.
First of all, I think that, not in a bad way to anybody, but I think that to spend $3,000
Yeah.
for a damn top
That
and a
was-
bra and a little lot of feather is like,
I'm $3,000
I'm just saying.
But if you're in competition with other people, best believe your costume is $3,000.
No, but that's
And that's not just here, that's all over.
All over.
Where you playing?
You know,
And you want front line. You want that line. You want large, elaborate
that's what I
costume.
like about that
No, but the
carnival
question,
segment.
the question is, you're paying to enjoy yourself or you're paying to impress others?
But people do everything right
I
now.
never spent $3,000.
No, but I'm just saying that, Jolanda, a lot of people who leave here and book early to go to Miami Carnival and still buy a ticket, stay with somebody or whatever, and go and party. Like that, I mean, Trinidad Carnival is expensive too. So,
Traveling is expensive. I'm not talking about international or regional carnival. I'm asking you, why it's within our island? Why you saying it? Have you never decided to play math?
I guess
I
it's
think that
timing.
you don't
I mean,
need-
for me personally,
you don't
I think
need it.
over the last
don't
few years,
need
I
it.
was actually a student, so the disposable income wasn't there for that. I mean, going forward now, and I think if we do something serious come December, I think I would be interested in doing something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see it happening in December. But
Well, you don't see it happening. Don't speak
You
that
don't
out
see that
there.
you're
You don't
gonna
speak
be
that out there.
I enclosed carnival.
no, I mean, well, obviously having a pre-show and whatnot, but I just mean like overall.
But then you remember
We
too.
in October now.
Remember-
So pretty much, man, still can't get everything organized. It's short notice.
You got me.
I don't
You got
think
me.
happening,
You got
but
At least a Juve. At least a Juve.
Yeah.
So, right, as I was saying, right, what I mean, like, about the whole mass segment of carnival is the seclusion. As in, the carnival is supposed to be for the people. That's when I'm saying it's Nevis carnival, not Birdwalk people and rich people party. You understand? So, the whole mass thing, I feel like that does just separate and take people out of this part and put them in this part.
No, I'm gonna tell you
Before the
personally.
people.
I'm gonna tell you personally.
May finish.
I didn't example on it.
I mean, the example is right there. Man, I'll be on the side where them man in there with the
But
feather
it's
them and all
choice.
kind of
It's
thing.
choice.
It's not choice. It's
It's
choice.
choice. It's choice.
It's fucking
Let's
me
be
bad.
real. Let's be real and not. And I answer cancer. Let's be real and not act as if
95% of the people them who are going to those
certain
things.
mass bands
It has
My
nothing to do
boy.
with the
My boy.
location.
The people that are be on the side, they'll be in Juve.
There are
Why?
people who
Because I feel you got pay to go in the sugar man,
People
the
who
man.
the entire economic strata to pay the mass.
Correct.
Down and from the bottom to the top.
Man,
not
talking
not
about
saying
their
that.
Because guess what
profile.
you have options. You don't have to go in and pay $1,500, but you can pay $500.
Okay.
Regardless of the
Jolanda.
price, Jolando, it is an expense. No, it could be
Optional
$4.
expense.
It is an expense. You gotta give up something to go there.
Yeah.
But it's
And you gotta
choice.
see
It's
it.
what they
People
say.
saving things
You not
all
buy
up.
a pack of pamper to go in mass.
But
And I
it's a
don't
choice.
like that at all. I
It's a
just
choice.
don't. I agree with
And
that.
then we can't act as if there aren't certain mass bands that target a certain demographic.
Exactly.
We can't
Come
act as
on,
if that does not happen because it's facts.
It's a
Me,
choice.
no,
It's
I
fact.
mean, saying they shouldn't get it at all, but I just feel like they should invest more in more things like Juve and forget about the mask kind of thing. Leave that there.
I disagree.
I
because
disagree.
even the carnival, they have even the folklore. There's the masquerade,
Like
there's
they did
the
it?
macajum. That it kind of
Because the clown man, them get push out a mask.
But not really. I mean, like I said, everybody got their thing, and you got to figure out which part of carnival you could integrate yourself in. I think, me personally, I like with Saint Kitts, and I think globally, you have Juve, which is kind of like an equalizer, where you could be the minister, come right down to the pastor sometime, you could be able to say, well, yo, let me come and
I
just
think that's
shake a
where
little
people
leg,
enjoy-
and he allows to
enjoy
realize that
carnival. All
I
of
might
us
see
is watching.
Sakian as the PM today, but at least you could come and dance with me and have fun,
That's
and
what
that's what it's
prefer,
about.
and that's what
Carnival is really a
supposed to be
representation
about.
of freedom, especially for slaves and all them things. So it's really
I'm
just
supposed to
to.
say it's not even slavery, it was it goes all the way back to slavery from the market days when the slaves were allowed to just walk on the road
And celebrate
as
themselves in the cultural.
They imitated the owners them, and that's what they found joy in.
Okay, let me ask how I think we've touched on this, but how much of the carnival is really our culture?
What is our culture?
I think a lot of it is
How
based
much-
on our
How much,
ancestors.
if our carnival is 100%, how much of that is our culture?
Is our culture? Maybe you could get about 45.
I would
Let
give
me
that
ask the viewers. I
85%.
could ask the viewers. I could throw the question out there. How much?
I would say honestly,
of our
it's
carnival is our
about
culture.
85% of our culture. But I think it has become so commercialized that everybody is trying to make a killing. Because in reality, it's one thing to say, oh, we're gonna have Juve morning, but then I might say, I'm gonna just set up a little bar. Then Jolanda might say she's gonna sell barbecue. Then Ayana might say she's gonna do ital. Then Sakia might say he's gonna do pizza. Like, it just allow everybody to kind of benefit from it. But I think that's why I can't really agree with what Sakia said in terms of saying, well, why you got to cost so much? Because in reality, it's choice. I mean, everybody choose how they plan to benefit from the situation. You know what I mean? You know how much people, I think even
Hey, for
us,
fun no more.
I think even with us, I think it's a good thing that we could be able to people leave from all over the world, and I think our carnival in particular is so unique that it's Christmas time and everybody want to be festive, everybody want to be on the road.
Exactly.
We got warm weather. You know, go to field, Juve morning, the
To see
sun out,
everybody.
and you just
I
like,
can't
hey,
understand that
and
feeling.
you know,
Like,
Yeah, I understand the feeling for real.
when you go see,
that feel fake, yeah. That feel so
It's
fake.
like from Christmas to our sleep, Black Road,
That
and
does
you see
feel.
everybody, you go home and you say, wow,
That
like.
does feel
here
fake.
and everything like
That does
nothing
feel
matter.
fake.
And you know what I like is that you could have on the best clothes. I am purposely see me and she say, and we come over and you paint them like,
Yeah.
wow, the old guy. You know what I
Our
mean?
carnival,
Right.
I am begging, please have Juve.
At least.
Please, more Juve.
At least that.
Hey,
That's not online. If I do it online, nobody do it.
No matter do it.
They could do the shows online.
Save the money.
They could do the shows
Get a
online.
school or something.
But-
Do the show
Don't use
online.
the money.
Definitely, in terms of carnival, our culture still exists. I think overall, the very essence of our culture is still, but when it comes to certain aspects, as you see being more showy, like in terms of back to play mask, it was less about who wearing the skimpy costume or who showed the most body or who had the flashiest costume. It was more about we celebrating the whole idea of this is market there and we're able to walk on the road and imitate the plantation owners and mimic them and find joy in that. That is where it stems from.
And humor.
And you know, you still got the clown and you still got the masquerade and
Nobody
I
wants
always
to
think the clown is so amazing
no,
now.
but that's our culture. That's our history. So with that being there, you're still seeing evidence of our culture, the bowl and what's not. But then when it comes to people like me, as a growing up as a child, I always wanted to see all the folklore. So for me, growing up, I wanted to see it, but as I got older, even though I wanted to see it, I still love the idea of wearing a costume.
I think the clown is really, really special.
Right, the clown is special.
I mean, you know, when certain people pull up on you, you're like, wait, who this? Who this? Who this? And then when they pull on the mask, the same mask we're wearing today.
No.
You're like,
The clown is sweet. Because when you don't get sleep, but since I became a teacher, I never let a clown dance. So many needs to be it. Too many students in this clown. So in the past, it's me teacher, it's me.
What?
Yeah, but luckily I've never let any
but here me usually, that's the whole purpose of carnival, where we could be in an environment and free up. Come away, Saki, and that means it's on now.
It depends. If Pana like that, then that's the problem. If Pana was just a cool youth and be like, oh, you don't know you're a teacher, big up on the dance. Big up on the dance, you're a teacher.
Pedophilia. I'm not endorsing that. Pedophilia.
Yeah, it's pedophilia.
On the same note of carnival though, do y'all think that carnival here is what it should be in terms of like, for example, I've been to Trinidad, right? And I remember you would always hear Patrice Roberts talk about all on the avenue and so on. When you're on the avenue, right, it's a different kind of energy because you could be with your person, but Trinidad is such a party culture and they understand like, Ayana could come, she just take a wine, she move on and it's nothing sexual, it's not advancement, it's just like, I see you, I like you, I have a dance, and I move on. Whereas in our culture, I find we're so small-minded that it always suggests that it's an advancement or it's a pass.
Big man, I with me, woman, and you come walk up on my woman, you disrespecting me. How are you doing? I mean, you ain't seeing me, you ain't acknowledging my presence. I wouldn't do anything if I am been cool in carnival. I come up here.
I feel like also this because I
just say watch no face. You just gotta watch the bumper.
You can't disrespect
I don't feel like every single random wine is taken as an advancement.
True.
Yeah.
I feel that's why when you go the extra mile, maybe you want to feed and push your hand between your legs, then you're gonna be like, okay.
Depends on the wine. If they give them a little side-to-side wine.
No, kind of wine for you to want to feel me.
Yeah, some people like to feel out, don't feel out. What you mean?
There's some wine that make you laugh.
No, what are you talking about?
Unless when you're a man and woman, you keep your hands to your side.
Yeah.
Big man, it depends. It depends. If I wine in 30 minutes,
you do that with your girlfriend.
you don't know what's going on downstairs.
You do that with your girlfriend.
You're young.
I weird, man.
They're young.
It depends.
It brings us to the whole conversation of learning to respect people's boundaries.
Let's take that down.
But you only could do it with certain people you get vibe from.
Adele said 30% or less is culture and parade.
We just want to say big up to Laxine again.
Folklore has been highlighted recently, but on other days.
Give me the drink.
So guys, we're here with our thing.
We have a game. Thanks, Debbie. Oh yeah, let's play a game.
Dear producer.
Who could finish this drink the fastest?
Using the strap.
No, you ain't gonna use the straw.
We use the straw.
Ready?
What we doing?
So
Yeah.
guys, this is the game.
Wait, Saki and don't cheat, eh?
What I mean, I don't
Saki and don't cheat. He does start to drink.
So we're going to play. Who can finish the drink the fastest? No judgment, so guys,
Hey,
not judge us.
producer, set the timer, producer. Producer, set the timer, 3, 2, 1.
No, you ain't got to do it with straw. No.
Why
If you
not
want,
use
use straw,
straw?
use
You
straw.
shot. I don't know if it's shot.
Okay.
Producer, set the timer. 3, 2, 1.
There we go.
You setting the timer? Okay. 3.
2, 1.
A bit long drink, boy. I tell you, man, shouldn't have been the option. Hold on, I must get up. Eventually.
Got him.
Guys, for the record, I cannot drink anything fast.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised?
Guys, I'm putting it out here. I cannot drink anything fast, so I'm gonna just pick up my
The
thing.
real question coming from the producer because we want to know what's the prize for the
Bragging
winners.
rights.
It's bragging rights. That's bragging rights.
So, Alexander Price will be the fastest drinker. What do you think? Where do you think that's gonna get you in life?
Wow. Wow.
You know.
And what your point is for finishing last? Can you see what you drink, eh?
Enjoy my
You see what you drink, Jolando?
Savory.
Guys, it's been a great.
Can you have one again?
No.
No?
Fuck it off. It's been a great
Yeah,
show.
too much.
It's been a great show.
Go
ahead, thank you.
I think you're cool.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, okay. So say you're really from the game because you're cool. Okay, so we're going to two truths and one lie.
Okay.
We have truth and dare.
To choose someone.
Okay, that's the two truths and one lie. Who's going to go first?
You could go first.
Are we gonna play that?
To choose about yourself and one lie, and then we have to guess what's the
Two
lie.
truths and one lie. Everyone has to think of two truths about themselves and one lie. And you're going to say them and the rest of the panelists have to guess whether which one is the lie.
Okay, so I'm gonna go first.
Okay, go.
I like traveling and I like the beach. And I love walking.
You love walking, that's one lie.
Let's go.
You done yourself at the beginning. You're so
I like where Jolando, you are talking.
I love walking.
Who love walking? Okay. Okay, so you know. I was born in October.
Wait. Take a sip of your drink. Take a sip of your drink, because you want to finish your drink.
This is not alcohol.
Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. I was born in October. I go to the beach every morning. And
Two
I love
and
the
one
gym.
lie.
Okay.
Two truths and one.
Basically.
Okay, since you know me there. What is it like?
The first two, obviously, you don't
You know
go
what
to the
you-
beach every morning and you're born in October,
Turn
September.
Okay, about September, guys.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
That's a sign?
So yeah, I know. Because it's trying to
Man, the sign that make you about them. Make you live in them.
So yeah.
What the sign mean? So I'm Virgo. What associated with a Virgo?
I gave Virgin.
September.
The Virgin. I gave.
Them shoppiness there. Okay, about September is a virgin.
I gave.
That's what I mean.
Oh, I was
Okay,
born virgin.
I gave 2 lies and 1 truth. Got me.
Ayana, your turn.
My turn. Okay. I was born in October.
No, originality.
I have 2 more years left at school. And my favorite color is red.
It's number 2 is a lie. You don't have 2 more years at school. It's 1 more year, like.
And one with another. Go ahead, thank you.
Because Jolando got your receipt. Somebody got your receipt.
Okay. So,
This one should be hard.
nobody know me. Nobody know. Anyways,
Anyways.
my favorite color is green. I don't play tennis and I live Sadlers.
Number 3 is a lie.
Number 2, that lie, it take too long.
He tell me when he really did.
Okay,
And it was a fellow.
Should I say TLS here? Hey! How long your Sadlers come to?
That was a good thing.
Guys, before we leave,
I had to make
you
it
want to hear
easy.
from you guys?
Wait, I have something to
What you
say.
want? I don't know.
Expectations for the season 2. As you can see, we have a new look hoodies. You can expect more change throughout the show. We are steadily re-innovating ourselves and we only need your help to help us become bigger and better. So for the rest of season 2, as you can see, we're outside. Waves in our
Ayana
ears.
trembling.
Trembling. Waves in our ears. Wind in our ears. Probably also in your ears. But hopefully next week we're going to be at a more enclosed area where it's not so loud. And throughout the rest of the season we're going to be outside.
Big up Black Scene one more
That's
time.
actually the exciting factor about coming to see us every week because you never know where we're going to be.
Yeah, we just Every Sunday, different location.
I also want to give a quick shout out to Island Runners with a Z in New York City. This is the actual hat I'm wearing, and I just want to give them a little shout out right now, and I'll also share the link in the comments later.
Yeah.
All right. And we just want to say a special thank you again to Loxine. This is where we are. We're going to be here more often with permission. But like I said, Sundays, Saturdays in the week, come here, have a drink, relax, kick back and unwind. Saying kids, yes, to explore.
Drop a comment, let us know how you enjoyed our first show in season 2. God, need to comment. We'll read out your comments on the next show because you know we can't. We're all asking for that. But the comments, we love that. We got viewers already. Fanny, Akila, Adiel. Thanks for tuning in and all the others. And my mother, because I'm sure she tuned in. But I see you again next week.
That's a wrap.
And we're gone. Somebody put that on the camera.
Fail.
What the YouTubers.